Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ant Famous competing in the Alienware tournament stream. I'm Zyrene, and last game, if you weren't here, we saw Ant Famous win that game, not overwhelmingly, but overwhelmingly in gold. There were some team fights back and forth that were kind of iffy, but that's what Blitzcrank does to a team. He can set up those really bad engages, and he can really even devastate the most ahead of teams, I guess. He can really make that distance close. So right now, I'm in the lobby for the next game coming up. This will be the best of one. That will be right before the semifinals, which will end up being a best of three. So, we have a couple moments here. You can always check out antfamous.net. It's a gaming website. Has a lot of nice little forums there. A lot of it's a community, just bringing together lots of people who have similar interests. So check them out, and that's antfamous.net. So hopefully we get the game going shortly. In the meantime, uh, like to talk a little bit about that last game, and we saw that the Vayne hypercarry really just doing what it's supposed to do there. It was really, really, really well played by Bella as well in the jungle, who decided to gank the enemy hypercarry and put him behind, so that Twitch wasn't really too much of a threat late game. So very well played by Ant Famous there. We're going to see if they do the same thing again. This team has no idea what they're going to throw out unless they lol king them and see their previous match. That's about all they can do. They don't have access to the stream yet. They have no idea what the last game went like. They just know that Ant Famous won, and I believe it's vice versa as well. We have no idea what they're going to bring to the table. And looking at the enemy team, all I see is that they've played 22 games, and they're all Plat 3 and 5s. So these guys obviously played together a little bit. Decent amount of them are Diamond. Diamond doesn't mean everything, though. Team fight mechanics are more important than solo queue mechanics. So if you can hit Diamond 1, doesn't mean you're a wonderful team player either. Some people just shove their lanes too much. Some people end up oh, what's up? Oh, so yeah, so that's what ends up happening a lot of the time. So yeah, sorry. Guy across the hall saw my link to the stream, and he just decided to burst into my room, and I'm like, okay, hey, I'm shoutcasting, so it's kind of weird if you're staring at me while I'm shoutcasting. It's like eating a banana and keeping eye contact. It's just really, really awkward. So, um, uh, so he's gone now, so I'm talking again. So, like I was saying, diamond doesn't always mean everything, especially if it's in solo queue, because people end up pushing too much, being too much of a solo player, wanting to play champions that don't fit into a 5v5 environment. Like there's a lot of people who play an AP Nidalee really, really fiercely, but her team fight presence really relies on having a team that works around her and really utilizing her poke as opposed to having like a Nidalee and a Malphite, somebody who has a hard engage. So having those team comps working out, solidifying what you want to do for your team, uh, and what role you're going to fill is really something that solo queue doesn't say. Solo queue just says, can you carry your team when it needs to be carried? Do you have individual skill mechanics? And can you work against trolls? Is pretty much work against and work with trolls, pretty much. A lot of the time, people are going to have a bad lane partner. Sometimes you're going to have somebody who doesn't pick something that synergizes very well. So, working with that, overcoming that adversity, and now we have everybody in the lobby right now, I believe, and so this is going to get that game starting very shortly. They're just doing pick order, dropping down to spectator mode, popping back up so that they can start up. AF Rutledge does say he'll be right back in just a moment. So in the meantime, once again, I can't say this enough. You need to check out antfamous.net. They're a wonderful website. Thank you for bringing me on so I can shoutcast your tournament. Although it is solo casting, I am doing my best. I think I'm doing a pretty good job so far. So, thank you for the experience as well. Thank you for going to College of Casting and contacting. I believe you contacted Dylan and got him on that, and then he made a post about that, looking for casters who are willing to do it. So, I'm happy to be here. I get the most joy in my day out of casting. it's kind of odd, but it's like, I go to school full time, but come home and cast, and that's really what I want to do. So I sit there at school and I'm like, man, why am I getting this education and learning all about these things? And I go home and I really just want to be a shoutcaster at the end of the day. So, if I could get paid to do that sometime in the future, or maybe even make a living off of it, that'd be incredible. That'd be wonderful. But that's so far in the future, and that's kind of putting all your eggs in one basket. And that's a little bit about me. So shoutcasting really brings me a lot of joy. Every time somebody's like, "Hey, can you shoutcast?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, I can. I would love to." And if they have an opportunity for me, I will jump at any opportunity. So the College of Casting Facebook, I believe I posted it earlier. I will post it one more time, just so everybody has that link. And you can also get in contact with Dylan, I believe, through that group if you have any shoutcasting opportunities that you'd like to extend to people, or if you have tournaments that need casting. So I really would appreciate if you turn to us, give us some experience. I believe everybody on that website works for free except for Jaws. Sometimes he does work for free. So just hop in there, be like, hey, we have this tournament that needs this many casters, or we're going to have a caster for one part and a caster for a loser's bracket simultaneously, and you can do that. And we'll set you up with people. There's always people who want the experience. There's always people like me who need the experience and really want to get their name out there, or really want to just hit the scene. And some people who are new to it and want to see if they even enjoy it. So some people are avid players of the game, and like myself, I'm a diamond player. But like I say, I'm not that great in 5v5 sometimes. So diamond isn't everything. People just have some individual mechanics and knowledge of the game, but it doesn't mean everything. So some people are diamond players or even silver players that want to be shoutcasters. So just and I do believe that being better at the game and having a higher knowledge of what characters can do, and basically studying Wikipedia or the LoL wiki, can increase your knowledge as a shoutcaster, knowing ability names, cooldowns, what characters can do and can't do, and having that knowledge of playing the game for so long. So hopefully the game starts here really shortly. It's about to be 2 o'clock, so I guess we're going to start right on time. It looks like everybody's ready, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up the stream. If I can get it to the front. Okay, there we go. So, looks like we're going to have a Jace ban coming out first. It might have looked at the other team, saw that they'd play Jace, banning out Elise, banning out all those morphing characters, I guess, banning out top lane. I don't know if that's because Rutledge is the lowest ranked person on the team. I have no idea how Rutledge plays, but just by looking at him, you see that he has a lower ranking than everybody else on the team. He's surrounded by some Diamond 1s and Diamond 4s, I believe, and he's about Gold 3, but it's probably because he hasn't played that much on that account, or if he's just really a Diamond Gold 3 player. I'm not sure which one it is, but they are banning out some top laners they don't want to deal with. That might be a little scary for Rutledge, or maybe even good in a 2v1 situation if they do swap it up. They're banning out the Amumu too, who has a lot of team presence, and it looks like they're banning out the Kassadin. Might have looked at the match history, might have seen that last game, said, oh, we don't want to deal with the Kassadin. If this guy plays Kassadin, we have a mid that we want to play, and he's weak against Kassadin. So looks like they're going to ban that out. They're going to ban out Twisted Fate as well. A lot of team fight presence, a lot of pre-team fight presence. He has a lot of map control and map utility. You can really show who's where, and you can use your destiny to just show even if there's a gank incoming or not. So banning him out, very, very, very good champion. Lots of range, lots of wild card damage, lots of wave clear. Has a lot of utility with his stun, AoE slow, and mana regen, so he can stay in lane and just farm all day if he wants to, as long as he doesn't take any hits. And then they ban out the Thresh as well, who's just a very, very terror utility support champion. He has a stun, a distance closer, slow with 99% slow, which is AoE, which hits multiple people and does a lot of damage when you hit the wall. Has a directional knock away, knock back, that also, I believe, slows people for about a second or two. And then he has the Lantern, which is very, very, very good. And people don't always utilize it, but when they do, there's tons of YouTube videos of people using that lantern in clutch plays and being absolutely incredible with it. So looks like we have AF Bella first picking that Zed. Don't know if that's a Zed mid or if that's a Zed jungle. Zed jungle is viable with his AoE clear time and his passive. He's very good at clearing camps. He's very quick. Doesn't have anything in the way of sustain, which makes his early jungle kind of susceptible to ganks, but you know, he's very powerful, very slippery with his living shadow, so he can get away quite easily. We're going to have on purple team here, which I believe the name of the team is Kuminov. Kuminov, I guess. So Kuminov is going to pick up Vayne here and Shen. Looks like they want to go for that global presence from Shen. Might have been why they banned out the TF, because he counters the global presence that Shen brings to the table. And then Kuminov is also going to pick up the Vayne. So Vayne is a very good hyper carry. We saw her last game, just devastating, wrecking all of the previous team, which was Blade of T. So we're gonna have Kings of N on blue team this game instead of purple team. So they're gonna be in the bottom hand corner of the map, and they are also they are Ant Famous Gaming is the blue team, also known as King of N in this tournament. So I'll probably be calling them Ant Famous and King of N back and forth. So just know that they're interchangeable and that I'm not making a mistake. I'm just using the two names. Purple team here is Kuminov, and they're going to pick up the Lulu. Lulu Vayne, very good combo. Lulu provides the slow that Vayne needs, also a speed up, and gives the HP boost with her ultimate. So she's very utility based. Lulu, one of the best supports currently. And I think we might see a Janna coming out for blue team for Ant Famous if they do want to pick. If he does play Janna, I would love to see a Janna come out, because Janna is a good disengager, keeps people away from Kog'Maw, and could really kind of mess up Zac. If Zac lets bounces in, you just push everybody away. So the Janna would be a really good pick. Very good with Kog'Maw, synergizes with him very well, gives everybody on the team some movement speed. So that would be nice to see in my opinion. But he's gonna play what he's gonna play. So we also have Zac coming out here. Like I said previously, last game in the picks and bans, we saw we saw a Jarvan ban, and I was thinking, well, you know, Zac is one of the top junglers too. People really don't realize it until the European LCS came around, and Zac was picked almost every game. We saw Wicked picking Zac, Soaz picking Zac, Alex each picking Zac as well in the games between Fnatic and Gambit Gaming. So Zac is actually really powerful. He's really powerful mid, top, and jungle. He has nice sustain. His stun and his engagement is very far, and he's a lot of disruption. He's a very good character, and he's got HP based damage, which is something that is always good on a character. Having something that is based on the enemy HP and doing damage based on HP is always good in this new meta that made HP a little more cost effective, so everybody's picking it up. It's easy to get, and we're gonna have an Orianna coming out here for Kuminov, and they're gonna pick up that Orianna maybe to counter what they think is going to be mid, which is probably Kayle. We do have the Nunu coming out with Nunu Cog, which is, you know, I was talking about Nunu, not Nunu, Kog'Maw Janna, but Cog Nunu is very good if you can keep him safe, and Kog'Maw is very good against very good against Vayne, because his ultimate, his living artillery reveals her. So if she ultimates, or he hits her before she ultimates with that, it kind of shuts down her ultimate for a good 8 seconds, I believe. It might be something like that, but it's a decent amount of time with the reveal. It might actually be less than 8. I don't remember off the top of my head, but still, we're gonna have this game start, and they do lock in the Orianna to play against what it seems to be the Kayle AF Don't Sweat TT in the mid. We saw him there last game. Everybody's still playing the same role they were playing last time. We have the barrier coming out from both ADCs here, so you know, no cleanses are going to be taken this game. There aren't a lot of stuns on Ant Famous, but on the purple team on Kuminov, we do have the Shen taunt, and the Zac slingshot, elastic slingshot, does provide a stun when he lands. So Kog'Maw not taking the cleanse, but he can probably get engaged on by the Zac slingshotting in with the Shen ulting on top of that. So I think what they're aiming to do is have the ball go on to Zac slingshot in, and then have Shen ultiing him while he's slingshotting, ideally. So the Orianna ulti on top of where Zac lands will provide a knock in, and then they can use Lulu ulti on top of that. The living or I believe it's wild growth. Yes, wild growth. Wild growth being used to knock up everybody who's on top of him. Wild growth actually was, going to nerd out here for a second, was a magic card, Magic the Gathering. I remember that from Magic the Gathering. I believe it was like a +3/+3 to your character. So or whatever card you attach it to. Just nerding out here for a second. So I believe that's probably where they got the idea for the name. And so, like I said, that's probably going to be what Kamenov wants to do. They want to synergize their ultimates and have Vayne just poking the entire time and peeling for her. I think they're going to be the ones causing the engagements, and just by the team dynamic here, or the team setup and the champions selected, I believe that King of N or Ant Famous is going to have they're going to have to play the game where they keep away. Play keep away, protect the Kog'Maw. Keep him blood boiled, keep him in the back. Have Rutledge peel for him. Have Don't Sweat TT go ahead and peel for him as well. And then we're going to have AF Bella probably jumping in, trying to take out and burst somebody. If Bella can exchange his life for the Vayne, then it's all worth it. That's really what Zed does late game is, can I destroy this person in one ultimate, one combo? And if I do, it's totally worth. Because if their ADC goes down, or even their AP character for Zed, then it's totally worth it. The jungler is just an assassin. He doesn't really profit from going tanky. You maybe may get like a frozen mallet, but you really want to go for those damage items. Make his ultimate do even more damage, because it does damage based on, once you use it on somebody, how much damage you do to them. It does about 30%, I believe, of the damage you did to them over again, plus a flat amount, plus I believe some scaling or something. So when it pops, it does more damage based on how much damage you did to them during the time it was on them. So if as soon as Zed ultis you and appears again, you want to flash away, you want to get away from him, you want to close that, you want to make that gap larger so that he doesn't have the opportunity to just keep providing the damage on you and then having his ultimate do even more damage. So if AF Bella can get in there, take out TI Bite or Afiva, he's going to be able to make that trade worth it, and maybe even Living Shadow out of there. So we're going to get into the game here. And looks like in the loading screen, we are going to have skin-wise, as soon as it loads. So it looks like both teams kind of platinumed out. The coming off all plats from last season. Only one skin, and that's the Dragon Slayer Vayne skin, which is actually one of the first skins I actually bought. I loved playing Vayne previously because she was kind of one of the hardest ADCs to play early game. Now that they made her condemn range match her auto attack range more accurately, she's a much better ADC now, even though she was fantastic beforehand. So I believe I would watch a double lift play it, and I was like, oh my god, I want to be on that level. That's an amazing, amazing play. Vayne's mobility, the low cooldown on her tumble provides a lot of positioning, so she's a really good character. And we're going to have on the team of Ant Famous 2 plat borders, 2 diamond borders, and a nothing. But we also have 3 skins coming out, so they're going to win this skin advantage just by a little bit more than last game. So we also once again have Rutledge taking the teleport to counter the Shen. He's playing against the Shen again, probably saying, "Oh, not again. We just ban it next game," because he's played against Shens over and over again. He's done a fairly good job, actually. He's stopped them in CS, although they did lane swap, which didn't turn out in their favor at all last game. So once again, as we're getting into this game, this is game 3. The third round against a different team, not game 3 of a best of 3. This is a best of 1, third round in I believe it's the quarterfinals of the Alienware tournament that's being held currently. So Ant Famous doing really well, winning their second match, getting a bye on their first match, and let's see if they can win this one too. So level 1's coming out. We have Doran's Blade start for Vayne, Doran's Blade start for Kog'Maw, very standard. You know, Butcher's Blades coming out. We have Shen taking Cloth 5 against Cho'Gath, who's starting Fairy Charm, Pot, Health Pot, Mana Pot, Ward. So Shen not going to have a ward up top unless they do try to do a lane swap. And it looks like they're either going to defend this against an invasion or they're going to invade. Fiva actually put his command attack a little further than he should have, and it went through the bush, giving them that vision there. We do have everybody coming over here. I believe I Just So Noob and Purple Dango want to start that double golem, and I think Kamenov says, no, we don't want you to start there. We want to put pressure, and we want to make sure that you don't start there. So we have a ward coming out from Purple Dango in his back red bush, and they actually see the ward placed by Kamenov, so they clean that up. Early 25 gold, early use of a pink ward though, which can be beneficial, and we have the Kog'Maw fanfare coming out. So we do have a lane swap as well. We do have purple team putting Kamenov putting Tie Bite and Windask up top, getting that double golem start, which is good for them, and they're going to have them duo against Kayle, which actually Kayle is one of the best 2v1 lanes currently. If Rutledge, I mean not Rutledge, if Bella actually hands off Kayle the blue, and it looks like they're not going to do it, they're just going to have Cho'Gath go top. So Cho'Gath's going to go top against that 2v1. He does fare very well in a 2v1 lane. It's hard to push him out. Zac doing his golem, not taking a lot of damage at all, as you can see, because of his passive, where he collects the globules over again after he uses an ability. Gives him a lot of HP back. I believe it's 4% of his max HP. And his abilities do 4% of his current HP. So no matter what, he's always gaining HP if he's attacking. So we have this duo lane up top. AF Rutledge getting taken very low by the Vayne that started Silver Bolts level 2. And actually getting a lot of harass on. And he's in danger right now. We do see Bella coming up top. They do say there is no ward. So Zac, an obese panda just clearing his jungle. We do have Bella coming up from behind once again. This game, just like last game, he's going to come up top. I think he's waiting for Rutledge to go ahead and land a Q or a Rupture. He is playing a little further up. TI Bite is kind of low. I think he wants to wait for him to tumble, because as soon as he tumbles, he's not going to be able to tumble away. So, oh, he's going to go on Windask. Windask doesn't have anything except for the flash. He does have the red buff coming out there. He does flash away. TI Bite flashes as well. We have AF Bella flashing right after that. But both TI Bite and AF Bella getting rather low there. Rutledge, though, does have a little bit of an advantage. Oh, we do have the Living Shadow coming out. Missing Windask, though. Windask going to go ward. So AF Rutledge probably should have been a little more aggressive before Bella showed himself, because then it would have really pushed TI Bite, yeah, TI Bite to use his tumble and put him at a disadvantaged situation, situation that's disadvantageous to him. So we have Zac here sitting in this bottom bush. He can slingshot to about right over here from there, so he actually has a lot of range on that, and he's probably not going to let this one go. Yeah, he's going to let that one fizzle, and then if you let it fizzle, it gives you half of the cooldown back. So instead of being 18 seconds, 19 seconds, it's just 9 seconds. So letting your slingshot fizzle is better than just releasing it. So we held on to it for a long time. The top tower taking about 600 damage, the bottom tower taking about 600 damage, whereas the top tower has taken about 500. So it's kind of even here. AF Rutledge did get the Philo Stone to 2v1, and that's very good, because if you go even in lane on the lane swap with another person, you have the Philo Stone. So you're actually ahead in gold, and we have the Elastic Slingshot coming out on I Just So Noob, flashing away. We have the taunt coming out from Citizen Rain coming out as well, and we have the Ignite on Purple Dango. So he's gonna walk away from that. 2 flashes burned though. We had one from ISO Noob and Purple Dango, as well as the exhaust, but the ignite burned from Citizen Rain. And we have Zed in the back. They did see Zed. They did see him come around, and so Windask is looking for him, kind of wanting to bait this. He does get the rupture off. Windask doesn't have his flash for a little bit here. AF Bella getting knocked into the wall with Condemn. Really wants to get some damage onto Windask. He is getting poked down and chased by Bite. And so Bella gonna back in this bush. There are no wards there. So if Windask does end up going down there and trying to ward it, it might be caught. But AF Bella decides to just go all the way back. And while I have a second here, I'm going to go ahead and line up the characters by role. So as you can see, we have Shen just stacking some armor, a little bit behind in CS, but also that GP5 Philo Stone is going to go ahead and tick constantly for Cho'Gath up top for Rutledge. So he's going to get more gold income than Shen is, even if he is even in CS, which he's not. But if he was, there would still be more in the favor of Rutledge. So Kog'Maw getting a little more CS than Vayne currently. So that's I Just So Noob, a little bit ahead of TI Bite or Tai Bite. So he's a little bit ahead, just barely though. The towers have taken more damage up top. They've been pressuring that one, and that's probably because they have. Well, I know not probably. It's because they have a support that's ranged. Windask Lulu has ranged as well, and he can poke the tower. Whereas bottom lane, you have Nunu, who isn't ranged, who can't hit that tower and provide pressure as well in a 2v1 situation. The Shen, if Nunu walked up to melee the tower, he's just going to get taunted. He's going to get taken out by the tower. It's not going to work. Oh, the tower hitting TI Bite once. And we have pings coming out here. Looks like Zach is going to go and do the blue again. Probably hand it off to a Viva right now from an obese panda. They didn't. There is a ward from blue side. Yeah, from Ant Famous coming out onto the dragon, and they're going to see an obese panda once again come down bottom. His elastic slingshot can get him to about right over here, and it expands every time you rank it up, and he is ranking it first, so he gets more range on it every time. And top, using Lulu and Vayne, both range characters, are going to be able to poke down that turret and get it down first, even before bottom turret has been taken to about half HP. We have AF Bella sitting out right there. I don't know if they can see him. They can't see him yet. The creeps are going to come by, and he did walk away into the bush, so looks like they're going to back. Tai Bite and Windask are going to back, and it looks like Bella in the meantime is going to hand off this blue buff to Don't Sweat TP. And it looks, I believe they're probably going to want to lane swap this back. Vayne and, yeah, Tai Bite and Windask, that's what you do. You put them in a 2v1 situation, you have them CS, you have them take that turret, and then you swap them back. You make sure that they go against who they were supposed to go against, and then they can push that turret down too. So it's always in their favor to do that. If you get the first turret, you need to swap it back and start farming a different lane, shutting down that lane. But the sad part here is that lane swap isn't 100% in their favor. It's not as much as they should have. It's not as beneficial as it should have been. Because Cho'Gath did pick up the Philo Stone, he has more gold income, and as you can see, the gold difference isn't as bad as you would think it is, considering somebody got a turret. So it's only about 200 gold difference. That's it. And we have I Just So Noob poking out the Vayne and the Lulu. They are ahead in levels though down bottom. Lulu has not yet hit 6, but we have a 6 on Purple Dango. So he's level 6. I Just So Noob is level 7. Not using Living Artillery over and over again. He's not using that mana on that. He's staying very healthy on his mana. We have Zach, an obese panda, coming down bottom. We do have. It looks like Ant Famous is going in really hard here. We have the elastic slingshot coming out on Purple Dango, sorry, and he's gonna go ahead and get taken out for first blood. I Just So Noob also gets taken out by the last stand. I mean, not last stand. The stand aside from Citizen Rain, and that's gonna be 2 kills for Kamenov. It looks like he had just jumped in, and then the stand aside to come out from Citizen Rain. Looks like they're gonna pick up this dragon. No problem. Looks like Bella wants to come in and steal it. He gets taken out as well. They did bait him, and they stopped all damage on the dragon. They made it so that he couldn't smite it, and if he did, it wouldn't have been enough. So they really did bait him into that. It was well played by Kamenov there. And this Zac doing a lot of work. Like I had said previously, he is a very strong jungler because his ganks are so scary. They come out of nowhere, and if you level up Elastic Slingshot first, like this guy's doing, like an Obese Panda's doing, it covers a lot of distance. Most people try to level up their W first, get the extra damage, but Elastic Slingshot is worth it for ganks. If you're going to be ganking people, that's really where you want to put your points. So, down bottom, we have Pink Ward coming out into the bush so that we can see that. It looks like they're going to go back really quickly. And you're going to have to excuse me for just a second. My apologies.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
Sorry about that, I apologize. I had to have a quick conversation with my roommate. So, we're back into this right now, and I think I missed some action, so I'm going to go back really quickly and see what was missed. It looks like I probably didn't miss anything, actually. It looks like Nunu and... So yeah, we just have I Just So Noob and AF Purple Dango taking that bottom turret. The kill from Zed came out somewhere. I'm not sure about that. I apologize once again for that. You know, sometimes there are things that are unavoidable, and you know, if I was in a real casting environment, I wouldn't have to deal with that. But unfortunately, I do go to school, so you know, and I didn't think you guys wanted to hear a conversation on the side. So once again, my apologies. You know, unprofessional, but you know, I'm not a professional, so. Alright, so back into this. We have I Just So Noob taking some hits from Tie-Bite. It looks like both of them are rushing Blade of the Ruined King first. We have AF Bella poking Citizen Rain up here. AF Rutledge is also there. AF Bella does have red buff, but decides not to engage on that. And it looks like they're just going to give the blue buff over to Don't Sweat TT. But an Obese Panda is also coming up. They did see him cross this ward over here. So they see him coming in there. AF Don't Sweat is fighting an Obese Panda currently. And he slingshots over the wall. They did disengage on it. Citizen Rain coming in from a very sneaky angle there. They have A-Fiva as well. It is a 3-on-3. Both ADCs and supports are still bottom. They're just picking up, and Cho'Gath could get in there and get it, but the blue, I don't know who it ends up on, but we do have AF Don't Sweat It ulting himself, but still getting taken out there. The blue did end up on Orianna over there, and AF Bella trying to disengage them. AF Eva did pick up the blue. There wasn't a ward there, so they couldn't see that. And once again, there's just a lot of a lot of pressure coming out here from this Zac. He's counter jungling. He's coming in there, and he is a level ahead of AF Bella currently, and the level advantage isn't too severe, but the turrets are even, except there's one down in the favor of coming off. That's what it is. So the blue on Orianna is going to be very helpful, especially since they don't have it on Zed. Although he isn't mana based, it is very helpful for CDR, and it increases energy regen for characters that are energy based. So it's very helpful for any mid player most of the time, unless you're something like Shyvana, I don't know. But still, if you have energy, it's good. If you have mana, it's good. If you benefit at all from CDR, which is probably every character in the game, it's good. So blue buff is also experience that just went over to to coming off, and although they are still a dragon, 3 kills, and a turret ahead, they're only 2.7k gold ahead, which is completely manageable. Completely manageable. The only person that's died on the team is Orianna, and I believe he died to a Zed gank from a Zed and Kayle gank. And it looks like Kayle does see Windass, does get his Q off on him, gets the slow. An Obese Panda getting that slingshot charged up, but not releasing it, so it is going to be on cooldown for about 7 seconds, and now it's back up again. It's a 10-second cooldown, so it's only down for 5 seconds if he doesn't let it go. And he's going to stand over here. They can't see him, and he's going to charge up his slingshot and probably shoot over when he gets the opportunity. So you can't see him, and he slingshots over, gets the ball, has the ball on him too. So like I said in Champions Select, they want that ball on him to line up that ultimate. They do put a ward down. He does start they do last stand on him, exactly like I said earlier. They do have the ball on him as well, but they have Kog'Maw flashing away from that. They are trying to dive onto a lot of their carries over here. TI Bite getting kind of low. I Just So Noob getting a lot of damage out here. He does take out Windass, and then Cho'Gath does feast on the Vayne, and we have Don't Sweat TT taking out all the globules from Zed, and Afiva probably going to get away here from the speed boosts, so he's going to be able to just run away from that, and the dragon is going to be picked up by Ant Famous here. Shen was just haunting top the entire time, and I believe what happened there is Shen got interrupted on his teleport, on his last man standing, on his stand aside. He got interrupted on his stand aside, and Cho'Gath said, well, I'm going to teleport in now. As you can see, his teleport's down. So he stopped Citizen Reign's oh my god, I'm going to keep doing that, aren't I? He stopped Citizen Reign's, oh my gosh, now I can't think of it. I gotta look at it. Stand United! Wow, Stand United! Wow, what did I keep calling it? Okay, whatever. Now I know it's Stand United. So, using the Stand United, getting the ultimate off, and oh, I can't believe I was doing that. Alright, we have the Obese Panda jumping in there. He doesn't have his passive right now, so if he does get taken down under the turret, he won't turn into little globules, he'll just die. So, looks like just trying to jump in there. He is rather tanky. He did pick up a Spirit of the Ancient Golem as well as the Ninja Tabby and the Giant's Belt. So he's just going straight tank, which is what you want to do on Zac, unless you are going to go for some AP damage there. Vayne, TI Bite, just taking out that turret, no problem, using his range and poking it down with the attack speed that he has from both Zeal and Blade of the Ruined King. And the CS here is very, very even between almost everybody, except that Zed is farmed very well. Bella's done a great job farming. And yeah, otherwise it's pretty much even, 16 difference in the mid, but isn't that much. AF, Don't Sweat it. Gonna get his Q, his Reckoning, onto Windass, and Windass gets taken out by a very nice place Living Artillery from I Just So Noob, and Nunu, Purple Dango, gets an assist from that because he had Blood Boiled I Just So Noob, and it was very well placed Living Artillery, and the Reckoning from Kayle as well was very well placed, just slowing the Lulu down and making it so that everybody could catch up to him. They do take their blue this time, so it's not going to be the victim of Kamenov this time. So looks like they're only 1.4k gold behind. They are 2 turrets behind, but they're even in dragons, and they're only 1 kill behind. Don't sweat. Looks like he wants to go in there. Zac still doesn't have his passive up. And they're just going to walk away from this. They want to get out of there. And then he is getting... Citizen Rain getting poked by I Just So Noob, who has a red buff and a lot of range on his Kog'Maw. So when he has his Bio-Arcane Barrage up, it looks like he's going to be doing a lot of damage. Kind of like a Vayne, except it ends up being magic damage as opposed to true damage. So, but he does have a range advantage over Vayne. Very much so. It looks like, wow, we have Bella throwing out some shurikens and getting a lot of damage onto Tybite. Tybite trying to heal it up just by life stealing off of these mobs. None of the ADCs really have any heavy damage items. They have the Blade of the Ruined King, which is for self-peel, and it looks like they have the Zeal. And they're just going to rely on their W's, both of them. One of them being Silver Bolts and the other one being Bio-Arcane Barrage for all of their damage. And it looks like they're just going full attack speed, tower push, and just shredding people with those abilities. AF Purple Dango putting the Blood Boil onto I Just So Noob. I Just So Noob wanting to hit the turret. They're going to back off. The wave clear is very strong because they do have an Orianna who just puts out command dissonance, I believe. Puts out command attack, positions the wall, and then uses command dissonance, which he is maxing second. So that does wave clear very quickly, and Lulu on top of that does a lot of damage to minions with her Glitterlands. We have the taunt coming out from Citizen Rain, which isn't going to do a lot to AF Rutledge. He's just going to walk right through it, kind of shrug it off. But we do have Citizen Rain coming in from the side. They do call it, and Ant Famous is going to start backing off from this. The ball is on Zac, who is just very large, very big. Just lots of HP. If you keep stacking HP on him, he gets larger and larger the more HP you have. So his character box, his hitbox actually gets bigger the bigger he gets. And the weaker he gets, the more damage he takes, the smaller he gets. So it's kind of fun in that sense. But he's a very strong character. And I believe he maxed his he should have maxed his Elastic Slingshot by now. And now he's keeping his Unstable Matter and Stretching Strike about the same. He's going to Elastic Slingshot in. I don't know what they're going to do about this. They can't take him out because he does have his passive up now. So if they do kill him, he will split into 4 globules, and they'll have to deal with those before they actually get the kill. And they are going to take out this turret, but they do have an Obese Panda jumping on ISO Noob. And, it was enough to make them back off because they did see Shen coming in from the side. Citizen Rain trying to discourage that push any further, and we have Afiva also who came down the middle at the same time. And Vayne, TI Bite just trying to farm, pick up these wolves, and try to really get into a situation where he's ahead of Kog'Maw, ahead of I Just So Noob, but he can't. They're both doing very well in farm, and I Just So Noob gonna go down bottom and pick up those purple creeps coming. There's a very healthy wave down there. Dragon should be fairly soon. If they do see Kog'Maw, if they see I Just So Noob bottom, they may contest the Baron because Lulu Windask bringing the oracles to the table, clearing out wards that are there. And Purple Dango sees that. He sees that they do have an oracles, and they're gonna check it. They have the Elastic Slingshot coming in here, and an Obese Panda just hitting one person, picking up the globule afterwards, not getting anything on it. So Kog'Maw went bottom, picked up that farm. He's now ahead of Vayne in farm by about 8, which isn't that much at all, but it still shows what that wave did for him. It looks like they're gonna pick up Dragon now for team coming off. And they have a lot of poke, a lot of things that discourage them from going in there. And Zac picks it up. Zac going to try to slingshot in there. We have the ultimate coming out from Vayne. We have the taunt across from 2 people. We have the ultimate from Purple Dango being interrupted there. I Just So Noob taking out an Obese Panda, but he is going to have to deal with the globules. And Bella has the Ignite ticking on him, but it goes off. And I Just So Noob spent a lot of time picking up Zac there. And Citizen Rain's just going to chase here. I Just So Noob can't really do anything about it, or else risk getting himself caught too. AF Rutledge is going to have to try and hit them away. But Citizen Rain going to get the taunt across, is going to get the kill on AF Rutledge. They are chasing Purple Dango, but I Just So Noob doesn't have any mana right now. He can't do anything. He is going to take out Shen, and 'Bite almost taking out I Just So Noob. And he gets killed himself under the turret. A very nice flash from I Just So Noob. Only 2 silver bolts were on him. He needed 1 more hit. And the Blade of the Ruined King was down for both ADCs. They had used it earlier. And I Just So Noob getting away with just a sliver of HP, under 100 HP. Very well played on his part. The dragon did get picked up by Kamenov, but the difference in gold is staying pretty close. It's staying about the same at 2.5k. The middle turret is primed for being taken by Ant Famous though, and I Just So Noob playing that very well, ending up being 5-1, and he picks up the Phantom Dancer, the Blade of the Ruined King, and now he has another Zeal. And I think that's probably going to get changed into either a Static Shiv, and I think that's what it's going to get turned into, or maybe another Phantom Dancer. I don't know, but it looks like he's not opting to go for the Stinger and get the Zephyr to get the tenacity on himself. So it looks like Kog'Maw just going flat attack speed, figuring I really need attack speed and move speed, and that's what's going to put me in this game. Whereas Vayne, on the other hand, decides to pick up the pickaxe. I think she might be going for an Infinity Edge. I don't think she'd go for a Last Whisper because she does do tree damage with her W, which is her main source of damage currently. So she's probably going to go for an Infinity Edge. Lulu's still holding that Oracles and gonna take out that ward, but the Living Artillery does provide vision. The slow from Afiva coming out. Bella really wants to engage on this because they know that Zac went back and that Shen was in no position to come help them. Shen's stand aside is down currently, and they did take that middle turret. So they even the gold up a little more. It's 1.2 as opposed to being 2k behind previously. Obese Panda using a slingshot to help clear the wave. And we do have the teleport up for AF Rutledge, so he's going to be able to push the lane bottom and not have to worry about anybody really split pushing against him except for Shen. He's just going to have Shen come up, and they might duke it out, but it looks like he's just going to try to push a different lane. And I would personally recommend them pushing top lane. Top is close to Baron. Top still has a turret up. So if Ant Famous was pushing top lane, they would be able to either get a turret or get Baron out of it. Although they do not have any real vision in that area, it looks like it would be the route for them to take. That's definitely what I would suggest personally. I think that would be the lane to push. They should push top lane. It looks like they want to push bottom lane and counter the Shen. At least split push from Rutledge coming out here. And we still see that Philo Stone on Rutledge ticking. You know, in comparison to Shen, gold-wise, he is about 400 ahead, but that is their team did pick up one more turret, and oh wow, we have AF Don't Sweat getting caught, really kind of just walking over anyway. I think he might not have been looking, and he just got pulverized there. So this will be a 4v5. They do engage on it, and we have the slingshot coming in. We have them backing up just in time. They did think, or at least suspect, that he was going to slingshot in. A very strong ability, and they pick up that turret without any resistance for the most part. And Purple Dango, just standing there, gets taunted across, isn't doing anything. They do pause the game because I believe Dango and Don't Sweat probably DC'd. That would explain the walking into the team, and that would explain Purple Dango. Just standing there. So, I kind of want to pull up chat for just a second and see what they have to say. Okay, so no, they just. It looks like Dango just DC'd, and Kale didn't. I don't believe Don't Sweat did, but I think he might have been talking or something when he got caught. So, hopefully he gets back in here really quickly. As you can see, the Vayne ultimate is currently popped. It's just looking to just provide a ton of damage onto Purple Dango. And it is a 4v5 still, unfortunately, because Don't Sweat TT got caught. And this engage doesn't look like it's going to go very favorably for Ant Famous, and looks like it's going to be all for Kamenov right now, unless I Just So Noob has the distance and the damage to really take out a lot of people very quickly. So if I Just So Noob does have the damage and his items are just perfectly itemized and we just don't know it, he can take out multiple people make it not so bad of an exchange for 2 people. And I don't know if AF Bell is going to make it out of this, but hopefully he can Living Shadow. I don't know if it's down currently, I can't see, but I think that he's going to be able to get out of that unless he's stunned or something happens. But in the next couple seconds, Purple Dango will probably drop and probably come back and realize, oh wow, I'm about to die. So that's unfortunate wake-up call for him when he relogs, but it's we can't help it. It's unavoidable at this point. So I Just So Noob probably gonna have to be the backbone of the team right now. I don't see where Cho'Gath is. I don't see where. Oh yeah, he's right underneath the pause timer, so he's very healthy as well. We have Vayne tumbling, so she's probably gonna hit somebody into a wall right now, stun them up. If it is Purple Dango though, it's not gonna be not that big a deal because he is basically dead already. So I don't know if they're gonna blow flashes immediately. It might be a waste because it does look like he has 2 charges of silver bolts on him. So 1 more hit's probably gonna take out Purple Dango currently. And we just need I Just So Noob to turn around, put on the Bioarcane Barrage, and start hitting squishy targets. But as you can see, Citizen Rain has the Randuin's Omen, so he's not going to be taking a lot of damage. He's going to slow Kog'Maw's attack speed and his movement speed, so probably a very unfavorable target for him to decide and focus. Zac, an obese panda, going ahead and picking up the Warmogs here as his first item. He doesn't have very many defensive stats aside from the Ninja Tab eye. That's all he has in terms of stats. The Spirit of the Ancient Golem no longer provides armor, it provides CDR instead. So it's just health, CDR, and some fun little regen stats. So he has a lot of regen, but no real defensive stats. He's relying purely on his HP. And his HP regen. So, I haven't seen the message that said that Purple Dango DC'd, so we might see it when he reconnects, because maybe the game hasn't realized that he's DC'd, but the players have. The players have realized that Purple Dango is out of here, not going to be able to move his character, and that's how they set up that very nice situation for Kamenov. Now, right after this, I'm not sure if Kamenov all has very, very healthy characters currently, so they won't have to back if they wanted to swoop up to Baron after this, unless they get taken very low by I Just So Noob somehow. So the map is pretty much their oyster right now. They can walk and claim whatever they want. The Baron, very primed because they did have Lulu with the Oracles clearing it out earlier, and they had great ward placement. There is 1 ward that is left in the in one of the river bushes, as you can see on the map, for blue team for Ant Famous. So they're gonna be able to see if they do go up there. They're gonna be able to. Ant Famous is gonna be able to see if Kamenov goes up there. So, hopefully in the next couple of minutes, it's been 5 minutes already, we're going to have this game start up again. The gold difference is about 2.9k, almost 3k. So they are about 3,000 gold ahead, and it looks like Purple Dango has just disconnected from the game after the 5-minute mark. After 5 minutes of being disconnected, it says he DC'd. So I don't know if that's a sign that he's logging back in, or if the game just said, he's DC'd 5 minutes, he's gone. So, hopefully, he can get back in here and we can continue the game. Having a DC is never fun, especially when it sets up a situation like this, where your team is at risk or at risk of being aced because of the DC, because of the person standing there. And it wasn't able to communicate that he was DC'd until the fight had been engaged on. So, but once again, we did have Don't Sweat It, Don't Sweat TT coming down and pretty much walking into the enemy team a couple of minutes ago. So it's not all Purple Dango's fault, quote unquote. But it's just unfortunate that he had to DC, or he did DC. So hopefully, so looking at the items now, we do see that Lulu had opted to go for double GP5, and she didn't pick up boots. This is very interesting. because she was against Kale, and I think that might have been why Kale was picking on her so much with Reckoning, throwing the Qs at her, because she didn't have boots. She wasn't going to be able to get away except for her shield, except for casting help picks on herself, I believe. Or not help picks, Whimsy, or whichever one gives him movement speed. I believe it's Whimsy. Help picks is the shield. So yeah, using Whimsy on himself. So that was the only movement speed boost he had. So he has double GP5 items, whereas Nunu has a single GP5 item, but has boots. Okay, so, but looking at Oriana went straight for the CDR from Athene's Unholy Grail, and then the Rabadon's Death Cap with the Sork Shoes for some penetration. Kale, on the other hand, opted to go for the Liandry's and the Nashor's Tooth, which Nashor's Tooth is really Kale's core item build currently. That's really what you need on Kale to even do damage. And Liandry's synergizes really well with her Reckoning, her Q, so she's able to shred percent HP on top of the fact that she slows them, which synergizes well with Liandry's. I believe it does double damage, so it ticks for, I believe, 10% of their HP, 2% of target's HP per second for 3 seconds, so it's like, what, 6%? This bonus is doubled against targets with movement and pairing effects. So yeah, so it ends up doing 2% target just bonus damage. Okay, so it ends up being 4%. Wait. Dealing all spell damage over 3 seconds that deals bonus magic damage equal to 2% of the target's current health per second. So I guess that's 6%. And then after, if you double it, it's 12% over 3 seconds. So I guess that's what Reckoning would do. If you slowed them for 3 seconds and you had Liandry's, it would do 12% of their HP as magic damage over 3 seconds. So it's a very good item pickup on Kale. You can also synergize it with a Rylai's, but you don't need that on Kale. Kale doesn't need a Rylai's. Kale can go straight Death Cap. But he also picked up the Merc Treads. We have the Merc Treads coming out for 4 out of the 5 characters on Ant Famous. They really don't want that Shen Taunt to do a lot. They don't want the Elastic Slingshot to lock them up too long, or the Kale, or the Vayne Condemn to lock up whoever she selects to condemn into the wall. So it looks like they're really just going for that counter CC, and like I had said earlier, Ant Famous is going to be the team that has to disengage. They aren't the ones that are going to be engaging ever. It's going to be the Elastic Slingshot. It's going to be the Shen Shadow Dash into them. So we do have Purple Dango reconnecting, seeing the situation he's in. Hopefully we get the game on pause shortly and he gets himself situated to, I guess, die in a second. You know, you got to be ready for that. And hopefully we're going to see an unpause here. And they are resuming the game, so we have the countdown going, and we are about to see Purple Dango does just get away from that. The damage is on Bella. Purple Dango walks back in, does use his ultimate just to slow them a tiny bit. AF Rutledge getting lots of damage on TI Bite, trying to. So that was actually a little funny, because Purple Dango ended up being safer than I imagined him being. I just so knew getting a lot of damage with his Bio Arcane Barrage on whoever's close. It looks like they do get the slow on him from TI. Looks like the slow is just barely going to hit TI Bite. The stand aside it's not stand aside. This. Oh my gosh, I need to learn the name of that spell. Just stand united, yeah. Not stand aside, that's Raven. And they do catch TI Bite with a feast, and he gets taken out there. The Vayne is down, and they are going to pick up Citizen Rain too with I Just So Noob for a double kill here. The inhibitor did unfortunately get taken out, so they might be in a position to do Baron. And I can no longer click the map. Okay, so that's wonderful. Looks like they're gonna Lulu is gonna back with Oriana down at the red. They do want to contest this Baron. They want to start picking it up now. They do have a Cho'Gath and and a Nunu who do a lot of damage with it to it from their feast and their consume. So they have a smite on top of that as well. Zac probably looking for that smite, doesn't have vision of it, is looking to get over. He's saying, I need to jump in. They do take it out. Obese Panda gets silenced. He is going to pop into globules here. AF Bella does go over the wall with his ultimate, but he gets taken out immediately by Afiva. They're trying to save an Obese Panda, but he gets taken out in the Baron Pit. And that's a 1-for-1 exchange. Bella dying and an Obese Panda. And it's a Baron onto Ant Famous. And they are now, once again, 1.5k gold behind, and that is it. So the Dragon looks like it's going to be picked up here by Kamenov. They're going to go ahead, walk in there, know that Ant Famous isn't healthy enough to contest this because they just got Baron and they need the back. And also they have an inhibitor down. So it's very great that they picked up that inhibitor, but it's also great that they picked up Baron as a countermeasure. Because they got such a good, they got two very key characters. They got the ADC, they got Tai Bite, and then they got Citizen Rain, the Shen from Kamenov. They killed both of them with I Just So Noob, and they were like, well, let's do Baron. And now they just picked up an Obese Panda as well. So very well done by Ant Famous there, but also it was a very good push originally by Kamenov, you know, exploiting the DC, I guess, and the poor positioning of Kale. AF don't sweat TT. So, oh, it looks like we're gonna have an engage here at blue, which has been the story of this game. They just don't give up these blues, and they really want them. So we have the smite coming out from AF Bella, and contesting blues is always smart, because as soon as you contest the blue, you put pressure on. You can force the jungler to use his smite to take it and not put it on the person he wants to. If you want to give it to somebody that, like a Kale, and they're pressuring it, the jungler is going to have to smite it so it doesn't go away. And that means that the blue is going to end up on the person you didn't want it to. So that's always a good thing. It's very tactical. And if you end up in a lane against, like as you can see, Orianna has blue, but the blue on Ant Famous is on Bella. So as soon as Orianna can just use all of her abilities over and over and over and over again and not have to worry because she has the Chalice and the blue buff, then they're in a very prime situation, very prime spot to push this tower down. And it looks like we just have Orianna dancing in the back. And I'm not too sure about that, but it looks like he just wants to mess around and just throw the ball out when he gets the opportunity. Keep the ball just hanging out there, providing the vision. He hasn't moved, so the ball hasn't returned to him yet. He hasn't leashed it, so it's just gonna sit there. And yeah, he's moving around now. Lots of oh wow, we have the ball. We have the snowball coming out on Citizen Rain, and him shadow dashing away at the same time, so it follows him all the way and provides the slow, but he was a little too far, and he gets the speed boost from Orianna as well. So this Orianna, Afiva, Afiva has a lot of ball control. He's very good at controlling the ball, putting it on the people that need it, and speeding them up, or providing dissonance. And I don't believe I've seen him miss a command shockwave yet. His ultimate is very easy to whiff, very easy to miss, but he hasn't done that yet. So very good job by Afiva currently. And we're going to have I Just So Noob clearing out the mid here. He is ahead in CS still, and is 7-1. So he did end up building a static Shiv as his second Zeal item instead of a second Phantom Dancer. And then he picked up a BF Sword. So Kog'Maw is going to be very, very, very scary now. So this comp basically needs to become just to protect the Kog'Maw. Protect the Kog'Maw. He has 2.5 attack speed. He has max attack speed with that Blood Boil on. And he has 204 damage plus his Bio-Arcane Barrage damage as well. So they really just need to protect Kog'Maw, have Bella jump in on the Vayne, have Kog'Maw land like one living artillery on Vayne so he can provide the vision the entire duration. And since Vayne does not run Cleanse, cannot get rid of any of the debuffs on him. I believe Cleanse gets rid of... I believe it gets rid of Vision. No, I believe it gets rid of Summoner spells and debuffs. But still. So if he had a QSS or something like that, but it's not very cost effective right now because there's only about one ability, two abilities that QSS could even be used on. We have Don't Sweat TT throwing Reckoning onto Citizen Rain. And Cho'Gath, we have Rutledge down bottom, just getting some farm, trying to stop that push because it is the vulnerable place. We do have I Just So Noob doing a lot of damage to an obese panda currently. He is trying to discourage this push, but he's not going to be able to protect that turret enough. And they are saying, "Let's get in there. Let's get you sped up." So AF Purple Dango gonna speed up this Kog'Maw, gonna speed up I Just So Noob, who has a lot of attack speed, and once he gets an Infinity Edge, he's just gonna be so scary. The ball coming out, providing some vision, also providing a kind of a zone for people not to walk on. And we have I Just So Noob poking away, providing a slow. We have the Rupture coming out, hitting Afiva up. And we have Zed. We have Bella going back, and that means that all of Ant Famous has to go back as well. The gold lead is only 1.8k currently, and this is a fantastic game from both teams. You really see that both of them made it this far, except that oh wow, we have a flash taunt coming out from Citizen Rain. Flash from AF Rutledge coming out. The Randuin's being used as well. AF Dango is in the bush and uses his ultimate. The ultimate does come out. Wild Growth. We do have Let's Bounce on the back line. But we also have Stand United coming out. We do have the ultimate from Kale coming out on Citizen Rain. It probably should have been used on Rutledge, but I Just So Noob in a very good situation to continue doing damage to people. He is very healthy. He doesn't have any mana though to use Bio Arcane Barrage. So they are walking across wards. And he doesn't know that he sees him. He gets knocked into the wall there. His ultimate is down. They do take him out. And that's a wonderful pickup by 3 members of Ant Famous versus the Vayne, which is the person they need to shut down. So AF Bella going to go ahead and pick up the red here. And now the gold is only 800 gold difference. There's only an 800 gold difference between these two teams. And I Just So Noob actually going to take the red. That's probably the better choice than putting it on to Zed there, Bella. And it looks like they really want nobody really jumping at the opportunity to take that dragon because Baron's up. So now that Baron's up, we might see a little dance there. The gold is only 500 gold difference, despite the fact that there's 4 turrets in the favor of Kamenov. So the CS is just massively in favor of the blue team here, of Ant Famous. And they have, I believe they've gotten Baron and 1 dragon, as opposed to the other team, which has obtained 2 dragons, maybe 3. And I don't even know if Ant Famous has picked up a dragon. I should keep better count of that. But considering this game has been going on for about 40 minutes now, 45 counting the pause time, we do have purple team. We have Kamenov setting up for Baron. They did clear it out with the Lulu Oracle. As you can see, Zac is so big, just getting lots of HP, makes him so huge. And now he's walking around, they're clearing all those wards out. And top turret still up. They still have top turret up, still some gold just prime for the taking. But they don't want to take Baron. It looks like Kamenov really doesn't want to take Baron. I think they realized, you know, if we put ourselves in that pit, we're gonna get wrecked. And AF Bella messing up the Living Shadow, using it right in front of his face as opposed to over the wall, which I think was the desired effect. And Windask clearing out these wards. We have the speed up coming out from Afiva. Throws the ball onto Citizen Rain. Citizen Rain might be looking for a taunt here. Did use his flash to taunt previously. And we have an obese panda. Looks like he's setting up over the wall to go ahead and elastic slingshot over. He hasn't used it yet. And I still can't click my map, so I will just use directed camera. Oh well. It's probably because of the pause. Pauses do strange things to spectator mode, like put you a second behind. So we have Rutledge missing the rupture as well. Wanting to really catch somebody out here is probably a big thing. And an obese panda is kind of like a fiddlesticks right now. If he gets that, oh, we have the taunt coming out from Citizen Rain. An obese panda only going about two feet up. He does use Let's Bounce. Citizen Rain getting taken out very, very slowly here. but we have I Just So Noob turning on an obese panda, sorry, does get popped, and Citizen Rain taking a lot of damage here from I Just So Noob. I Just So Noob not being able to take out Vayne. He walks away. He does get hit by a rupture. Lulu does, and now we have oh wow, we just have so much damage coming out from that Kog'Maw with so much range, being able to just constantly hit people with very nice rupture coming out from Rutledge as well. And then we had AF Bella pop into the fight, throw a Living Shadow in, and spin once, and then get out of there. So very, very, very well played. They're now ahead in gold by 1.2k, 2.2k, 3k. Let's just say 3k. I can count. So 3k, now they have one turret behind, 3k ahead, 1 kill ahead. So they can either go for the Baron right now. They have 20 seconds of leeway time before Orianna's up, which probably gives them a little more time considering the travel distance. And Orianna does have home guard though, and Zac is bottom, so they are gonna go after this. I see he does use his Randuins on the. It looked like he used Randuins on the Baron. Baron gonna get shredded down here so quickly from I Just So Noob, who is 10-1 as Kog'Maw, has the Infinity Edge, and is ready to build his last item. And I think we're gonna see a Guardian Angel, a Frozen Mallet, a Warmogs, or some kind of defensive item coming out here, because he's just very scary. 305 farm, 10 kills, 1 death. It's just protect the Kog'Maw all the way. He does so well. They can't reach him. And in that last fight, an obese panda tried to jump in to the back line, but he didn't make it all the way. He used his elastic slingshot about 2 feet in front of him as opposed to 30 meters all the way to the back line. So he didn't get the distance that he wanted. So Kog'Maw, I Just So Noob, building that phage. Looks like he does, yeah, he builds the home guard boots too, just so he can get out there. So we are going to see a Frozen Mallet come out here for I Just So Noob, which is a great pickup on him because it slows every time he attacks. Every time. Doesn't have the percent chance like Trinity Force does or Phage does. So as soon as he builds that Frozen Mallet, every one of his attacks will slow and basically provide him peel for himself. And he can start orb walking and attacking and moving over and over and over again. So we do have Baron and a 4k gold lead on Ant Famous now. They are behind 1 turret, but they do have an inhibitor down in mid. So looks like they don't really want to go for the split push so much this game. Although they do have Cho'Gath bottom, he should probably be with them and protect the Kog'Maw, because that's all they really need to do is just protect the Kog'Maw. It's a game type. So he's just been pushing and swinging that lane up to the turret. We do have an obese panda jumping onto Bella, getting shielded from Afiva, and then just walking away very, very colloquially, just very okay with that. And they have the blue buff now on Kayle. They did steal that blue buff. I Just So Noob using Bioarcane Barrage and does have Blood Boil on himself, so he's going to be able to take out that turret very quickly. And we have Rutledge trying to hit somebody with that Rupture. We have AF Bella taking some damage from the turret. Turret shots just coming out onto mid. But middle is pushing, so somebody needs to answer that. Somebody needs to go clear that. So they decide Zac's going to clear that, and AF Don't Sweat TT is going to go get Zac. And it looks like they're just going to have Rutledge face tank this. He does have enough HP. They do try to get. Oh wow! They don't hit I Just So Noob with the taunt or the Orianna ult. A Citizen Rain gets taken out so quickly, but Vayne taking out Zed. But there is an ultimate from Kayle onto I Just So Noob, the Divine Intervention, stopping him from being taken down. But now I Just So Noob is so close, being able to take out the back line. He needs one more hit. He does get the triple kill. Is he going to get the quadra kill? We have the oh no, we don't have the quadra kill coming out, but we do have an ace coming out. So I Just So Noob getting the kill stolen from him by AF Don't Sweat. Not a problem, but they do win this. It does look like they're going to win this game. They're going to push it. And they were behind for most of the game. The unfortunate DC doesn't stop them from winning this game with a 9k gold lead and coming out with 5 kills ahead. So Ant Famous Gaming going to go ahead and make it to the semi-final matches, which are going to be best of 3. And they are in the Alienware tournament. I believe people are competing for $1,750. So It's 13-1 Kog'Maw, 18.5k. Just so much gold on him, so much, so much damage out from him, and so much gold in his favor. He had about 5k more gold than anybody on the opposing team on coming off, and about 3k more gold than Cho'Gath, who was just farming and getting assists all day. So more than half the kills from Ant Famous were on the were on the Kog'Maw. So it was really a protect the Kog'Maw comp, and they played that really well, very well. And I believe the semifinal matches will be played today. Uh, if I'm looking at the brackets correctly, they will be playing Tennis Show, and that will be at 5:30 p.m. CDT, which um, is in 23 minutes. So that's 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and 5:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So the next game is in about 23 minutes, give or take, whenever they decide to start. Although the other team has finished as well. So Ant Famous will be playing Tennis Show, who has won all of their matches. They've played 3 matches. They one of the few teams who didn't have a bye their first round. So they've actually won 3 matches in a row. So it should be a good fight. That last game, very, very well done. As you can see, other team having basically all diamonds on them doesn't mean anything. They were playing against other diamonds. Rut really showing that, he isn't just a gold 3. He's more than that. He's a beastly Cho'Gath. So we'll be, we'll be back in a 20 minutes or, whenever I get the game. So until then, I'm Zyrene. Go ahead and check out antgaming.net. I mean, no, sorry, antfamous.net. It's actually on the stream now. So yeah, go ahead and check out antfamous.net. It's a nice little website. They have a lot of little cool forums, and they have lots of different game types and stuff like that. So it's a very great community. Go check it out. Once again, I'm Zyrene. I'm going to play some music for you in the meantime while I get some water. So, thanks for joining us, and I hope you stay for the next game. Don't go anywhere. Grab some food, go to the bathroom, do what you got to do, and, come back here and join us for some more streaming action.